So it's line day. Well, at least some of the lines will get put on. So, and over here, I have the main brake line that goes from the proportioning valve all the way to the back. This is the first one I want to put in because that way I can throw my fuel tank in. And I got to straighten it, and I have a straightener. So, if no one has ever, if you haven't seen one of these before, they're pretty cool deal. They're not exactly a cheap tool, but they're an awesome tool. They'll take this bend rather than just try to manually just slowly straighten it out. This thing works really good for this. Works really good for, like, I have rolls of this stuff too that I'll use for stuff every now and then. And it just works. You just slip the line in there, and then you just crank these down. And you just keep running it back and forth, and you tighten them up more, and you run them back and forth, and eventually it comes out straight. It's awesome. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to get this straightened out, and then I'm going to slide underneath there and get this one put on, and maybe even it'd be super awesome if I could have this thing mounted to a workbench or a vise or something like that. You know, I'm just going to pull out most of the bend. And a guy could keep working that and make it just fine. But I'm going to do it like this. And you can't just keep it in one orientation. You gotta give it a twist every now and then and go the other way too. That helps even out the straightening process. And then give it a little more of a crank. Whoops, come on, there we go. Turn. Whoops. And it's never going to be 100% straight. That takes a much larger piece of equipment, like a giant die. But you know what? That's good enough because there's enough flex in it. And you know, just tweak it a little bit by hand. Just like that. Now I can go crawl underneath there and put it on. Well, I assume you can see what I'm doing here. If not, just use your imagination, or just skip the video ways. I'll push it a little this way. And get past this so we can push it back this way. Come on, baby. Oh yeah. Yeah. There we go, there's that one. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, well, there we go. And then this is gonna go. Oops, I gotta bend this. A little tweaking needed. That's okay though. Maybe that's in the wrong hole. That I may have to change later. That's okay. That one won't get fully put in until later anyway. So then I gotta do this one yet. But I won't do that one until I get this. Because I've got my proportioning valve here. All painted all pretty and everything. And I've got caps, plugs in all the holes. So I gotta go get some wrenches, do that. Poof, just like that. And I guess the other thing I should It'd be nice if I could get done and put the wiring harness in before the tank, as I just noticed my wiring harness clips. Well, I think I can squeeze through those, because that's a lot more forgiving than brake line. So, well, so much for that idea. Right there. Got the wrong end on it. It will not thread into my master cylinder. Well, you know, dumb things happen, so I guess I'm not going to do lines and fuel tank today. I'm going to have to just go ahead and shelve that. And of course, it's a Friday afternoon, so I can't get a hold of the place I got these from. And so I got to send them an email, shoot them some pictures, and hopefully Monday morning they get on it and get me a line with the right end on it, because I'm pretty sure that's a metric. It should be a standard. So I think I might, because I even took my not master cylinder, my proportioning valve off, just thinking I just wasn't getting the right angle, blah blah blah. Well, you know what? Nope. It gets in there about one turn and then it just stops. So it's the wrong thread. I'll probably put that back on. So anyway, that's kind of the story for now. And I guess we'll see what tomorrow brings. So this is a video, or this is part of the video I kind of hate to do, but at the same time I feel like I need to do it. So the Right Stuff, which goes by, they've got like several companies all tied in together, has been an absolute flippin' nightmare with these brake lines and fuel lines on this pickup. Wrong ends on the brake line, as you probably just watched, and the fuel lines weren't even remotely close. You could stretch them out perfectly straight and they weren't even long enough. Their customer service was absolute horseshit. 100%. The guy flat out lied to me. He said, oh, well, we've sold, you know, how many of these over the last 10 years? And no one's ever complained about it. Wrong answer. That has to be a lie. There's no possible way you can tell me that or say that and expect me to believe it when you have the wrong lines in, when the lines physically do not fit, when the fuel lines aren't right. And of course, he's trying to blame me. It's like I tried to explain to him. It's like, I have dozens of these pickups. I have worked on many of them. I have replaced these lines before. I know what they look like. And I said, the lines you sent me, for the fuel lines anyway, they were GM because they had screw type fittings for where a fuel filter would go. That's a GM thing. And tried to get my money back, then they just stopped responding. They wouldn't answer my phone, they wouldn't answer their phone, for one. And when they would, they say, oh, well, so-and-so was working on it. No one was ever working on it. They tried the lame excuse of, well, every time you reply to an email, it was their system would put that email at the back of the list again, so then they would have to go through all the emails in front before anybody would see this. Total BS. B as in BS as an S. That's not true. It would take a minimum of a week to 2 weeks just to reply to an email. I know that is not a thing that happens. So anyway, finally, and I mean, it was horrible. I'm never buying anything from them ever again. Their website is always wrong. No matter what you look up, it shows you parts that aren't what you're looking for. So I'm done. I'm just done with them. Inline tube, I called them, poof. Had the lines on the way within a day or a week or whatever. I think some of them they had to bend. They don't bend until they get ordered. That's fine, whatever. So that's what I'm using now. Never again use the Right Stuff. So, and I don't ever say this on my videos. I don't use that product because they're horrible. But this time I'm gonna say it. Do not buy anything from the Right Stuff. You will regret it. And all of their other sub companies that are all underneath the same roof now. Like, I forget what their acronym is now. It's PIP or PII or something, whatever it is. I don't know. Haven't been to that website for months. Never going back again. I did finally get my money back. It took, I think, 8 months to get my money back on something. Even that's after I sent all the lines back. It still took them half a year to give me my money back because they got them and they said, and I forget what excuse they came up with. They're probably pissed off because I used an inline tube box to mail everything back with. But fuck them. Never going to use them again. I would encourage everybody out there to never use them again also. That's all. Have a good day.